Here from Being in Sync 366 video series. Today, I wanted to talk about a topic that's very prevalent all around the world: divide and conquer. It's a tactic that is used to basically keep people small. So, the tactic is used to create a division. Divide and conquer is also another term that is used um, to uh, to keep people separate, not only from joining together in participation, collaboration, partnership, but also the divide and conquer tactic is used to create separation within your own inner spirit. And now I think more than ever, it's always been a thing. It's been a thing for families, it's been a thing for friendships, it's been a divide and conquer is about separating the emotional body, spiritual body, mental body, all of our energetic bodies, and like dividing them up and like fragmenting things. And yet we are meant to be whole and complete beings, right? It's hard to be whole and complete when people are feeling mentally fractured, also known as anxiety, also known as trauma, also known as PTSD, also known as, I mean, I could go on and on and on of what creates these fractures. Divide and conquer is a technique that has been used for years and years and years. It's a war technique, and it's used against people. Um, and people don't even know that they're doing it. And one, if we don't know that it's even in existence, how do we know it's not being used within ourselves? So the reason why I'm even bringing this up as a video is so that you can have, number one, awareness that this is a technique that's used. So basically, divide and conquer will be used to basically create separation. These separations often cause inner conflict. So you can look at arguments and fights that have occurred in your life that didn't need to be there. And it could have been because somebody else inserted themselves with some kind of infiltration, a lie, or a manipulation. And then it made this other relationship fracture and fall apart. That's one way it can work. It works in the workplace, in that gossiping. Gossiping is a divide and conquer tactic. What does gossiping do? It erodes the people's energy of whom are engaged in the gossip. It doesn't matter if you're the giver or receiver. This is a tactic in which people become smaller energetically because they're engaged in something that doesn't fill them up. So, this is how you can look at things really. Um, does this bring me closer or feel closer within, or more fragmented? And you can start to look at things in that way. Because if things are not bringing you closer within, more aligned, that doesn't mean it will be comfortable. Because, growth is uncomfortable, and it should be uncomfortable, and you want to be uncomfortable. You should have different ideas like this tactic: divide and conquer. Okay, let me see if this is going on in this relationship. Is it going on here? Is it happening in this situation? Where do I feel less of myself when I'm around these people? Is that a technique or a tactic that's being utilized? Now, people are employing these behaviors without even consciously knowing what they are. So it's not about getting mad at people for having shitty behavior. It's really a matter of being consciously aware so you can begin to make different decisions that serve your inner congruence. When we are talking about being in sync, we're talking about being fully aligned within so you can connect with your source energy, creator, God, um, all of the good stuff, right? When you're fully connected, people can do divide and conquer things, and it's like you can, love is what lives here when you're connected fully. So you cannot fracture love unless a divide and conquer tactic is used, because what divide and conquer fact techniques do is they engage the mind into fight or flight, which then engages the nervous system, which I should do a video totally on the nervous system, but for today we're talking about divide and conquer. So the purposes of this video is just to know that those techniques exist, and you don't need to identify things as a divide and conquer technique. What you need to do is be aware that it does occur, and then ask yourself, is this situation, this information, is this relationship creating an inner conflict within me that's causing me distress? And that's really how you know that there's a different kind of technique going on that needs to be addressed. Inner conflict is something that would behoove you to address totally, fully, and completely from your heart coherence. You cannot address inner conflict effectively from the mind. It can only be addressed fully, totally, completely from the heart. And what happens is your heart is what communicates directly with your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, and your spiritual body. When those are in alignment, then the heart will then send a message that goes to your nervous system. And all of our systems are always in communication. So when the divide and conquer technique is um, embodied through you with inner conflicts, that's when you start to get more mentally conflicted, emotionally polarized, um, angry. And anger is not a bad emotion. First of all, no emotions are bad emotions. And I don't know how identifying emotions really got to be positive or negative, because they're really just emotions. And that's really the language that we have been given and to operate with. But emotions in themselves are not negative or positive. They're just experiences needed to be fully acknowledged so you can transmute them and heal through all of your bodies. So if you feel inner conflict, that is telling you that you have a divide and conquer technique that has effectively worked. And you need to identify, where did that come from? Do I need to disengage? How did I address my inner conflict? I mean, I've given you lots of questions in here, and those are a lot of ways in which you can address it. The long and short of it is that most people are ignorant that this is even happening. And therefore, when you are not aware, that's how you become separated from your inner spirit, and also your belief in God, source, creator. And also, this is how you get separated from the frequency of love. And love is what ultimately heals all wounds. The more separated you are from the frequency of love in any personal relationship, any situation, the more the wound will hurt. So, if you have something that's hurting you, it would behoove you to really not spend so much intellectual time identifying what it is, but really take time to just feel the pain, and make sure that when you're feeling the pain, you're not wallowing in it, because then you can easily become woe is me, and please, I've been woe is me before. And if you get woe is me, that is okay too. What you want to do with the woe is me attitude, because that is an attitude, is give yourself a time limit. I'm going to be woe is me for like 5, 10, 15, 2 hours, an hour, whatever it is that you delineate as enough time to be woe is me. And then when that time is up, you move on. You must move on. Feeling is not the same as wallowing, which that might be another video too. I really want to make videos that people are interested in. But the divide and conquer is also just information that you need to navigate the field of humanity and relationships, and knowing that these techniques are employed and deployed without people even knowing that they're being used. So I am Kiana Sage, and I guide people to peace. If you would like more peace, feel free to reach out and try a one-on-one session. Bye.